The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients.
It's Thursday, the 7th day of December 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Folks, my team's breaking down, man. Sherry is out, and Sancho's out, and Larry is out, and Raj is out, and, well, Maya's kind of here. So, and as you can see, look, it's like, so it's very cold in South Florida this morning. And I don't need to hear your smart remarks of, Jamal, that's not cold. But it was 53 this morning. And if there's two things I don't do, I don't jog in rain and I don't jog in 50-degree weather. I know you're saying, well, your body will just warm up. It's when you're done and that sweat and that dampness hits you. So I already went out a couple of days ago and I got this cold. And I was just like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So we're down. So audience, send us some healing vibes and we need them. The team needs some healing energy right now. So we appreciate all the vibes and the love that you can give us. And we appreciate you. So greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Good one today as we're going to discuss what are some things that you see that you believe work in our other jurisdictions that Bermuda needs to adopt or should consider adopting. What are some things that you may admire about another jurisdiction that you're like, we should do that. We should make that law or policy in Bermuda. That's what we're going to discuss. The Daily Play is more holiday trivia. And as you can see, I don't have a co-host today. So that means someone in the audience is going to win something. All right. All you have to do is get the answer correct. And please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's talk. Do you all want to joke before we get into a serious conversation? Good morning to you, Traveling Trotty. Hope you're warm and well. Do you all want to joke? Yes or no? Do you want to joke? Because we're going to have a serious conversation. And whether you're a mother or not, father or not, you have been a child. You've had a guardian, I'm sure. Today, the direction of the show is really to trigger the conscience of every last Bermudian, whether it impacts you or not. So we want to find out from you what is on top of your mind that you think we should adopt that works elsewhere. But you go and want to joke yet. You don't want to joke, so we'll just get right into the question since you don't want to joke. So I think we tend to look at what happens in other places and ask ourselves, why don't we do that in Bermuda? What's so hard about doing something like this in Bermuda? Let's give an example. Just the other day, people were, myself included, spreading news about Turks and Caicos Islands, better known as TCI to locals, not TNC. And I mean, they struck 1 million visitors, right? Now, Grand Turk is basically their island that they use for people to visit on cruise, and Providenciales is the main island where most of the people who travel by airplane go to. Turks and Caicos has a very interesting history with Bermuda. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but there are many Bermudians who don't even know that they have a lot of connections to Turks and Caicos. If my memory serves me correctly, and history buffs and historians tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Turks and Caicos Islands was used as a place where enslaved Bermudians were taken for the salt trade back then. So there was a big connection there. Now, for me, I didn't even know the Turks and Caicos Islands existed until I got to college and I met some friends, and one of my closest friends actually is from there. And I probably told this story before. Thank you, Rick Olson says I'm correct. Yeah. And I probably told this story before that my friend and I, without telling you too much of our business, we had met some ladies one night and we were out, and they, asked, "Where you guys from?" And I said, "Bermuda." Said, "Oh, that triangle place." You know what the American ladies do, right? So it's like, yeah. And then they asked him where he's from. And he said, "Turks and Caicos." And one of the ladies responded saying, "What the bleep is that? Did you just make that up in your head?" I'm not saying that to make light of the Turks and Caicos Islands or make fun of them. But the point of that story is Bermuda, if for nothing else, was well known. It was the island everyone from the Northeast considered the honeymoon destination, the place to go and visit. Turks and Caicos is it right now. And Bermuda needs to find out how they've done it. Because many of the islands to the south of Bermuda, when Bermuda was in its heyday, looked at Bermuda and wanted to know how we did it. So the question of the morning, audience, and thank you, Maya. She said it's claimed that in 1701, Bermuda sent 500 men, women, children, and slaves to settle on the Turks Islands. So yes, so there is a great history. Go check it out. But the question of the morning is simply, what's something that seems to work in another jurisdiction that you'd like to see adopted in Bermuda? What is something you'd like to see? Like Bermudians, you all love to travel these days. Traveling Truddy, I think it's Cartagena you're going to. I think I pronounced that right, in Colombia. Rick Olsen, you just commented. I know you frequent the Turks and Caicos Islands. There are people, Bermudians, who watch this show that live in other jurisdictions. What is it? What's something that seems to work in another jurisdiction that you'd like to see adopted in Bermuda? Give that some thought. Give that some thought. And we're going to take a quick break, come back. And while we're taking a break and you're thinking of an answer to that, you know what to do. Give us a like, a love, follow if you don't. Make sure you share it. But I think you'd be surprised at my answer to today's question. Stick with us and please make a contribution if you can. This is our show, all of us.
In over 30 years, Mailboxes has brought in millions of packages. That's a lot of packages. We started way back in 1990.
Ship a boombox. Well, okay, sure, we can do that. Check you later.
And ever since, we've evolved with our clients' needs. You want some packages super fast? No problem. We hired an overnight team to work, well, overnight. Every night. To sort, unpack, and process shipments. You wanted no sales tax? That's why we moved our warehouse from New Jersey to Delaware. And because no one likes paperwork, we do all that for you. Then, we created Dashboard, a seamless customer portal where you can upload invoices and track your packages. And today, we're evolving once again. To eliminate your wait time and to lower costs even further, we decided to start importing and stocking the most commonly ordered items. That's right, we now provide what you want without the wait. Using our international supply chain, our dedicated staff, and our long-standing relationship with customs, we give you instant access to your favorite items, direct from us, at amazing prices.
Amazing prices.
And we think that's pretty neat. Welcome to a whole new way of shopping. How's that? That good? Keeper?
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this for you. Before we went to break, we asked you, what's something that seems to work in another jurisdiction that you'd like to see adopted in Bermuda? And Traveling Trotty says, an efficient public transportation system. An efficient, what jurisdiction would you say has an efficient public transportation system that you'd like to see Bermuda adopt, Traveling Trotty? Let us know. Sorry, I had a sneeze. Sorry about that. So let's go to Instagram. We got a couple of responses. We got someone said, ensure that any global tax includes an element that remains in Bermuda for infrastructure, community, etc. So what's a country or jurisdiction that has that, folks? Another says Bermuda first, always, like in Bahamas, 90% plus hotel staff are Bahamian. Okay, there you go. Using Bahamas as an example. How does Bahamas go about doing that? Malachi Troy says waste management. What's a country that has a great sustainable system that we can model off of? Like what jurisdiction should Bermuda model that off? Sorry, folks, I keep sneezing this morning. And then Traveling Charlie says Amsterdam as in reference to an efficient public transportation system. So here's one of my answers to this. And Malachi Troy says Costa Rica is one that we can use as an example, as a jurisdiction that we can adopt waste management system like. So these are some great answers. And folks, keep them coming, because I think the purpose, again, I say it all the time, these conversations are brainstorming sessions for our community in hopes that we can have a better community and society, exactly what we'd like, right? So I want to share something with you. One of the things for me to answer this question, what's something that seems to work in another jurisdiction or other jurisdictions that I'd like to see adopted in Bermuda? And it reflects the family unit. So many people say, oh, the family unit is broken. It's been a breakdown, and it impacts so many things: economy, education, healthcare, and the like. And so I'm going here with maternity leave. I know that Bermuda and Maya done a great story some years ago, right? Bermuda amended the act that took effect on January 1st, 2020. And maternity leave was extended to 13 paid weeks for employees who have worked for one continuous year with their employer. The prior allowance was 8 weeks paid leave and 4 weeks unpaid leave. Employees who had not worked a full year would have been entitled to 13 weeks of unpaid leave. Now, that act, the Amendment Act, also provided 5 days of paternity leave for employees who were becoming fathers and who had worked for one continuous year by the expected date of the child. Employees who had not worked a full year were, like the women, being given the same time, but unpaid, so 5 days unpaid. So my concern with this, and I again, credit to the government for making that amendment and extending maternity leave. But I believe in family. I came from a very close-knit family. I believe that from birth, children need that support. So one of my business partners had a baby this year, and she was on maternity leave. And she made a comment and said, maternity leave is not vacation. It's no vacation. And I don't quite think many people who make decisions understand that. And I say this because not every mother has the kind of support, and I'm not talking about the father, I mean family support, to be able to do what's necessary. My sister had a baby this year. My niece was premature. My sister needed additional time. Yes, this is personal to me. And I don't have a permission to discuss this, but I am. She needed additional time for her baby. This topic, I really hope, hits the heartstrings of the community. And I want to go through a few things. And we have to be honest about comparison, because Maya did an interview some years ago with the Honorable Minister Jason Hayward. And I appreciate what the minister said. And what he said made me go and research even more, because I know people will say, well, like Bulgaria offers the longest, if I'm not mistaken, maternity leave, which is 58.6 weeks. But we have to keep in mind that not all of that is paid by the employer. There's social security systems in place, right? And I know people will say, oh, well, if government has to assist and pay part of this, that means taxes are going to go up. Maya, I think, said it, or Rajay, someone said it on their show recently. Taxes don't have to go up in order for government to be socially responsible for its citizens, you know. Taxes don't have to go up. Government just has to be better at how they spend the money. I'm not trying to bring up things or nothing, but $800,000 to someone for a music studio that never was, that's money that could have helped new mothers. Now, there's the other side of the coin. I've worked for a small business before, small business being 5 employees. If a small business had 5 women of childbearing age and they all got pregnant at the same time, they could have an argument. Well, how are we supposed to remain in business, right? How could we possibly do that? I don't know the answer to that. I don't. What I do know is that the family unit is something we forget about in every conversation that we have. We talk about, you know, I remember working for Bermuda Tourism, and they would ask me when I would go to visit different travel professionals throughout New England, what happened to Bermuda? Where was the breakdown? And I would just look and think about this. I would say, something happened in the 80s and 90s. Something happened where the economy changed. And it benefited some, but not all. So when we think about the family unit, think about this. We love to look at the single mother, but there were 2-parent households that had to go and work 2 jobs when the economy started to shift. 2 jobs. That meant there were children with no guidance at home, after school. That meant that no one was helping with homework like they could, because they're just trying to feed their families. Maternity leave. Yes, thanks to the government for going to 13 weeks, but we need more. The parents of children need to be able to bond with them. I believe that that bond will help create a better community and society over time. I believe that. Let's go back to the audience. What's something, that's what I'm stuck with. I'll talk about paternity leave in a second as well, because paternity leave is just as important. And folks, share this conversation, because we're not talking about these things at Thanksgiving and Christmas and our family get-togethers. We're not talking about them in the church. We're not talking about them at our gatherings by the water cooler at work. Why? Because it's something that until it impacts someone as an individual, we don't consider it. Again, that's why this show exists. That's why this show exists. What's something that seems to work in another jurisdiction that you don't that you'd like to see adopted in Bermuda. So Malachi Troy says, yes, the family unit, bro. You nailed it on the head. Bermudians are so busy trying to provide for their families that the new generation don't get quality time and investment from the parents. And unfortunately, it's due to high cost of living. It all comes back to that. All comes back to that. Rick Olson says TCI was built on Turks and Caicos Islands, was built on the real estate growth, which is very limited potential unless we build up. I love the island lifestyle, which I believe is what tourists want, i.e., casual tours in the sand, great views, access to beaches and water sports, nightlife on the beach year-round, happy hour sunsets, and simple food highlighting local when possible. Rick Olson. Turks and Caicos also has primarily locals working in the hospitality sector. But I want to highlight something that he absolutely, I can't leave out facts. If we're having honest conversations, thank you for saying that. Turks and Caicos is not as developed as Bermuda. They can go and find a piece of land here and have a hotel development. We don't have that luxury. So if we're going to have this conversation, that I need to be honest with you as well and say they have the land to do more. We just don't have it. Malachi Troy says our culture is washed out. I don't disagree. What's something that seems to work in another jurisdiction that you'd like to see adopted in Bermuda? Again, I went with extended maternity leave, and I'll touch on paternity leave in a few. Sean DeShield says free college tuition at Bermuda College for all eligible students, similar to Norway and Argentina. Okay, there you go. Shigarena says in St. Lucia, they use old tires to build retaining walls along their roadways. They pour cement into some and they grow plants of them. I like that. There we go. I like that. Thanks for sharing that, Shigarena. That's what you call recycling, right? Carlita Davis says, preach, Jamal, you are right until it happens to you, but if nothing gets done. Malachi Troy says urban farming. This is a way to regain culture and time spent as a family. I'm just going to pick on my sister because I never speak about family on this show. But I remember visiting Bermuda one time, returning to Bermuda. And my niece is 10 now, my oldest niece. And my sister was growing in a pot. I think it was a watermelon or a pineapple. And she was growing stuff in pot. And we didn't come up like that. So I was just impressed at how my sister was bonding with my niece and doing those kind of things, right? It made so much sense to me. My baby sister and my stepmom, Jada, like how she loves to bake because her mom loves to bake. Like simple bonding. Bonding. I want to talk about paternity leave, but I must bring Maya in. But folks, this is a good conversation, and I want you to keep coming. Keep coming, because from my perspective where I sit, I can go a lot of different ways of things that I believe work in other jurisdictions that we should adopt in Bermuda. There are so many things. But for today, I'm focusing on the family unit and bonding. You know why? We spend more time making money for others than we do with our family. That's a problem to me. We've spoken about it on this show before. We don't give 8 hours a day to employers. We give more than that. The time it takes to get to work. Some don't include the lunch break, the time it takes to get home from work, the time it takes to prepare to go to work. We are not bonding with our families. When people start to ask what's wrong in our community, what's wrong with our society, the family unit. The family unit. The family unit. We're going to bring in Maya Palacio for the Daily Hour news break. Do not go anywhere. We're going to continue this very important conversation. Keep your answers coming. We're going to find some solutions today. And when your members of parliament, your MPs or whoever, someone seeking your vote comes on your doorstep, you know what you're going to tell them? You're going to tell them urban farming. You're going to tell them free tuition for all eligible. You're going to tell them mandatory recycling like in Canada. You may tell them better waste management is needed. You may tell them a more efficient public transportation system is needed. This is our country, our community. We must take hold of what our community needs. It's time for Maya Palacio. Do not go anywhere. We will continue this conversation after the Daily Hour news break.
Good morning, good morning.
Greetings, MP. How are you?
Not feeling the sharpest, but I'm glad to be here with you guys in this conversation today.
Thank you. Did you want to add anything in it really quickly?
Truthfully, I would love to see just better when it comes to like prison reform. I think just the fact that Bermuda, I just would like to see something better. Put it that way. From conversations that I've had, anything that can assist on just making it easier streamlining out of prisons to the society again. I remember speaking to some persons who were incarcerated and they just like had no idea even how to operate a phone. And this is like a Nokia type phone, like, and I took the time. I remember this for like 10, 15 minutes, spoke to this gentleman about like how to answer a call on his phone and moreover with that. So just some things that helps to streamline them back into society better. I had a small research last night looking at how Norway's prisons are operated because they're supposedly like one of the best when it comes to prison reform for their society. And they have about 5 million in their population, put it that way, like in the whole of Norway. And Bermuda has 63,000. I was just like, how are they doing better than others? And they said they focus a lot on relationships and family relationships. They open up, for visits 3 times a week and spouses to visit as well. And they keep the prisons aren't this one giant thing. They're very small and in the communities of the people. Not saying Bermuda can do that because we're quite small, but just looking at the fact that they really do try to build on relationships outside of the incarcerated building more than anything else. That's what the main focus is.
Indeed. And I love that there are examples, Maya. I love there's examples of what we can possibly do. We just need the people to do the research and understand how they got it to work there, right? I love conversations like this. I do, because, as I stated earlier, when Bermuda was in its heyday in tourism, there's many places that are successful in tourism today. Guess what they did? They came and learned from us. We should not, as a jurisdiction, be so arrogant to act as if we can't learn from others. I always say, we can learn something from a baby, Maya. We can. Before you get into your news break, I did forget to do the Daily Hour joke of the day. So, can I do the joke of the day, please, Maya? Pretty please?
You better make me laugh. That's what I'm gonna say.
Hey, folks, it's time for the Daily Hour joke of the day. Here we go. How do you describe a child who doesn't believe in Santa?
I had a weird answer in my head, but I'm not gonna say it.
I'll give the answer. How do you describe a child who doesn't believe in Santa? That child is a rebel without a clause. Get it? Get it? Clause. No.
I get it.
I don't think I made her laugh, folks.
I'll lift up a smile line. Okay.
A rebel without a clause, folks. Come on, that was good. All right, let's get started. Let's go to the news break. Gee, I tried.
You did. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. And starting out your news this morning, that Sophia Souza Sequeira is missing. The 15-year-old who you may recall was missing, I believe it was last month, for about 5 days, while the Bermuda Police Service is seeking the public's assistance in locating her. Again, Miss Souza Sequeira is described as 5 foot in height, light complexion, slim built, with neck-length black hair. She was last seen around 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday, yesterday, December the 6th, in the area of Middle Road, Smiths, as she was made to be wearing, sorry, she made her way to attend class at the Berkeley Institute. So at the time, she was dressed in a school uniform, the navy blue skirt, white shirt, green and yellow tie, navy blue socks, and black shoes. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to please contact the police at 295-0011.
I'm sorry, I don't remember from the news you just read, Maya. With the people who've been going missing, and this is her second time, and folks, I just want us to remember that let's keep in mind it's a child, so let's keep our judgment to ourselves. But genuinely asking, are these young people going missing from government care? Do we know this?
From the last report that we heard when it came to Department of, I don't want to get it wrong, but it was a department under the government, and they said to the police had put a release to either contact them as well if you know if you want to speak with them about if you know about Ajani's whereabouts other than the police. So we can say that he was in connection. With Raquel, I haven't heard any confirmation of a connection.
Okay. Gotcha. And with that said, Mia Hartman actually makes mention that young man that's been missing for weeks is, according to what she just said. But
yes.
And how long has he been missing now, right?
It's over 2 weeks now. But the police did say that they have confirmation from a close person that he is safe, and they believe that he is being I don't want to use harboring, but with some adults that are just haven't, no one's come forward to say where he is, but they believe that he is safe with other adults, because that's what someone had told them directly. I'll get the better press release for you guys tomorrow as an update on that, but they still want people to contact the police, but it seems like no one is, but they know that he's air quotes safe.
That's good to know that he's safe.
Yes. Now, in other news, members of the Association of Bermuda Insurance and Reinsurance, ABIR, recorded a total direct contribution of $815 million to the local economy from members' companies in 2022, representing an increase of 13% over 2021. So a spokesperson said that ABIR members' economic contribution in 2022 included salaries and benefits paid to Bermuda-based employees, spend on travel and entertainment in Bermuda, including hotels, airfares, restaurants, taxis, catering, and nearly $6 million in donations to Bermuda charities. And then going to close this last statement, they said that ABIR continues to collectively represent the largest reinsurance employment on island. In 2022, ABIR members companies employed 1,585 people in Bermuda. Of those, it was 1,103 who were Bermudian.
Okay, good stuff.
In other news, the city of Hamilton is streamlining the application process for its disabled parking permits by issuing permits for 1 to 5 years, depending on the expiration date of the company's medical certificate. So currently, the permit owners must reapply every 1 year for a new disabled parking permit, regardless of when their medical certificate expires. While this new system has made it implemented for people to have their permit for up to 5 years, and they could pay that fee up front of $125, but it has to correlate with their medical certificate as well. And this new option will be put into place come January 1st.
Okay. 5 years.
Yes. So I remember there was a story on that. I believe it was Gary Foster Skelton, who did that story about this gentleman who had to continuously have to go in and get his parking ticket renewed. So now they're changing it to be 5 years instead of 1 year.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, you may have seen this, but the Bermuda was featured on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I don't know if anyone's into watching that. Do you watch that, Jamal?
Never seen an episode of any Housewives.
Neither have I, but it's a really popular show, and with the videos trailer showing them landing in Bermuda at the airport. So let's take a quick look at this video, the scene of them coming to Bermuda and their thoughts.
Wives, I didn't know that's what you did. You drove housewives around Bermuda. I'm sorry, that was funny. That was hilarious. So Salt Lake City, that's in Utah. Like, are these Mormon wives?
I do not know, Jamal. I never watched the show, and I actually don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be comedy as well, because the ignorance. Oh, like, Bermuda's scary. I mean, I feel like I'll never make it back. I'll get lost or something will happen. Yeah, whatever.
Well, it seems like we haven't done about going to change in the narrative of some people's minds.
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. And if that's the boost we need to help our tourism, let's do it.
All right. Closing up in the news this morning. Well, it's December 7th, so the Premier does return back from COP28. And also, Bermuda Youth Connect, if you didn't realize, did a discussion with Jerry and Richardson, the OBA leader, the other day, and it should be up on their YouTube channel. Just want to encourage you to go ahead and look at that. I'll have a little sneak peek on Monday's newscast. And the Department of Sports and Recreation are accepting nominations for the 2023 Bermuda Sports Awards. Now, you can nominate someone online, or you can also visit the Department of Sports and Recreation headquarters located on the third floor of the Craig Apin building to fill out a physical nomination form as well. So those are the quick highlights for the rest of the news.
And I'm sure the people were like this when you said the Premier returns today. That's neither here nor there. How's the weather looking?
Weather's looking cloudy with occasional blustery showers, decreasing in the afternoon though, hopefully. So if you're on a bike, once again, take it easy, bring your raincoat. And we have a high of 64, which I feel like dropped by 10 degrees because yesterday was, I think, 73. So
well, days of the year, Maya, it's actually International Civil Aviation Day. So in 1901, something was accomplished that hadn't happened in the history of mankind. A man flew upon a glider and covered a respectable distance in a man-made device that was not held aloft by lighter than air gas. The skepticism that greeted this event was profound, with people all over the world saying that Wright brothers were more liars than flyers, a claim that would be refuted by a demonstration that would be most important event in the world. International Civil Aviation Day celebrates the science, art, and sport of aviation that grew out of the initial glide and the men and women who push on all fronts today. So, history. The International Civil Aviation Organization focuses on safety, efficiency, and regulations that surround the entire industry. Organized International Civil Aviation Day in 1944 and began a campaign to have it officially recognized UN holiday, a campaign that would finally see its fruition in 1996. So, Maya, how to celebrate Civil Aviation Day? What do you think one of the ways to celebrate is?
Get on a plane.
I mean, book a flight, right? Book a flight, folks. And in saying that, if you could book a flight to anywhere in the world today in honor of Civil Aviation Day, where would you go? Where would you go, Maya?
I think I say this a lot because I just haven't been yet. I really want to, but I want to visit Nicaragua because that's where my family is.
Ah, there you go. Nicaragua. All right. If I had to answer, audience, let us know. Where would you go if you could book a flight to visit any place today? Where would it be? I would have said Ghana 10 years ago, but it's like people probably ruined that for me now. I'm going to say probably somewhere in West Africa, Senegal, maybe. Yeah, I'd go with Senegal. Let us know, audience. Traveling Trotty says So haven't you been to South Africa, Traveling Trotty?
And she go again.
South Africa is beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Where would you go, audience? Maya, please feel better. We're going to have tomorrow, we're going to have your full conversation with the COP28.
Yes, definitely. And also there is, because you guys were talking about this morning, I think Malachi brought it up in the discussion this morning, just having to do with like community breakdowns.
Cool.
And they talked a lot about that in this. And I love the way they explained, especially as, the young generation, and just about like what we're finding as trendy as to what people go into for business now instead of what's actually needed. So that's a big conversation that was a part of it. So definitely look forward to that being out tomorrow.
All right, cool. So no live daily hour tomorrow, but during the time period, you will see this conversation Maya had with those young people who attended COP28. You don't want to miss it. Maya, see you later. Feel better.
See you later.
All right, Maya Palacio, folks. If you appreciate it, Daily Hour News Break, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Going to take a quick break. We're coming back. We're going to continue the conversation. And that question, you can put your answers back up. What's something that seems to work in another jurisdiction that you'd like to see adopted in Bermuda? I'm going to touch on paternity leave when we come back. So do not go anywhere. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Let's kick it off in the footwear department. When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic, and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talks, and DeWalt. The list goes on. Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can't be stylish and comfortable at the same time? Speaking of stylish, we also have top-quality running, walking, and workout apparel by Skechers in a variety of sizes for men and women. Cool, breathable, and dry. With our wide selection of Skechers footwear, you look great before, during, and after your workout. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
You'll be surprised at everything we have to offer at our huge new retail and wholesale location on Bakery Lane.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a daily basis. We're going to return to the earlier question. We were asking the audience, what's something that seems to work in another jurisdiction that you'd like to see in Bermuda? And I want to go back to a couple of things. We've had Sean DeShields, he says, 4-day work week similar to Iceland benefits families being able to bond more. Why can't we make that law? Like, I know it's been tested in other places, but 4-day work week. Again, I said earlier, we spend more time making people money than we do with our family and friends and bonding and really creating a sense of community. Community starts within, right? So yeah, I appreciate that. Traveling Trotty says bike lanes, non-motor, help create a healthy lifestyle. I like that. Mind you, that means you have to trust a lot of people on the roads. Kia Vernay BDA says, yes, definitely on board with better waste management and introducing more earth-friendly options for farming. Give us some ideas of where we can look at, for examples, Kia Vernay, but I definitely agree. Rick Olson has said, over-regulation has ruined fun in Bermuda. Where are some places that have less regulation that have been successful, Rick Olson? Let us have some ideas. These are the things that we need. You know, we obviously know that this is true, but it's better when we have examples to give the people who are making these decisions, right? We need these examples, and we need to have a breakdown of how and why it worked, all right? Something that's worked in another jurisdiction you'd like to see work in Bermuda. Kia Renee BDA says unemployment benefits like the UK. Even in the US, they have unemployment, right? If you are unemployed or you lose your job, you get unemployment for a certain amount of time. Not my expertise, so I'd have to look again. Suzanne Ingham says, do you remember when we did have work on Thursdays and Saturdays? It was family time when I was little. Not sure how old you are, Suzanne Ingham, but I don't remember that. So it may have been before my time. But I want to touch on paternity leave real quickly, folks. So let's be honest. I do not like when people criticize single parents, be it the mother or father. I think there are people who have raised extraordinary citizens as single parents. However, we all know that having a village, a healthy village, should not be a deterrent, and it shouldn't hinder the growth of a child to be a productive citizen of this world. So I went and looked at some countries when it came to paternity leave. And, first off, yes or no, audience, yes or no, do you agree with paternity? Do you agree that we should have paternity leave? And as I read to you earlier, Bermuda didn't have it until that amendment in the Maternity Leave Extension and Paternity Leave Amendment Act that took effect January 1st, 2020, where fathers got 5 paid days if they were work continuous for 1 year for an employer. And if they hadn't worked 1 full year, they got 5 unpaid. So do you believe that fathers deserve paternity leave? Yes or no, audience? Quick yes or no question. Do you believe that fathers deserve paternity leave in Bermuda? I'm a fan of it. I do believe that fathers are parents too, right? I think it only makes sense. I think they also need to build that bond. And Maya made a great point earlier. It's not even just about the bond, right? It's at the end of the day, remember what I said earlier. Maternity leave isn't vacation. The mothers, and I'm speaking from experience, the mothers may need a rest. A day when the baby just doesn't want to sleep and they're fussing, the mother may need a rest. They may need some help, right? So it's not even just about just the bond part. And we obviously know, the mother carries the child for 9 months and so on. We know that. But that mother still needs that support. They need that support. And I'm not quite sure 5 days is enough. I asked the audience, do you believe that fathers should get paternity leave? And Sheikha Rana says, yes, we should have paternity leave, and fathers should be encouraged to actually use it. Suzanne Ingham says, yes, mummies need help. Yes, that's it. That's it. Because there are some people, and again, Maya educated me earlier. I said, because there was an example given, well, the father's not the one that's going through the pregnancy and dealing with all that. But it's not even just about that. It's about being able to be there physically and support physically, emotionally, and mentally the mother. Again, as I was reminded by both my business partner and my sister this year, maternity leave is not vacation for a woman. Polly Rich says, yes, our father should have paternity leave. And also, it should be longer than 5 days. Ebony Souza said, yes, but more time. Marcia Robin Patrice Bradshaw says, yes. So I think we're all in agreement that fathers, present, existent fathers, deserve paternity leave. And again, this is not to be vacation. This is not for the father to be out, lollygagging. The mother may need help around the house. She may need to someone to run to the store to get her something while the baby's fussing. And let's not talk if the mother has 2 young children. Again, we have various concerns. There are other things that work in other jurisdictions. So many things that work in other jurisdictions that if Bermuda adopted could help us become a better country. We need to figure out, and sometimes it's not right before us, because if we weren't talking about this today, if I didn't bring up this in particular, maternity and paternity leave, be honest, is it something you would be discussing amongst your friends and family? Likely not. Likely not. We've got to see what gaps we have in our community. It's easy to say, oh, these young people, this and that. When did it start? What's the root cause? I've heard the former National Security Minister, when the PLP first won in 2017, saying that we were going to take a holistic approach to the gun violence in Bermuda. I wonder if this was considered as part of that holistic approach. And what have we done? What have we done? To me, it's all tied together. Have we worked? He's a CEO now again. Have we worked to reduce the time in office or at work and increase the time with family? Again, the PLP took a step. They extended maternity leave. They gave paternity leave. But is it enough to change the dynamics of our community? Mark Arthur Phillips says he, I believe, yes to paternity leave, but his question is what would be the pushback from the business owners who will oppose it? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. As the Honorable Minister Jason Hayward mentioned in a conversation with Maya some years ago, it's not all on the company. I mentioned Bulgaria earlier, right, which is the most friendly country when it comes to maternity leave, right, offering 58.6 weeks, right? But that's through a combination of the company and the government Social Security. Right? So again, I know some people are going to say, and the Honorable Minister said it, that some of it comes from the government. And people will say the government has no money. Our government has money. It's $1 billion government. It's a matter of how we prioritize that revenue when it comes to spending it. Is this something that we deem important enough? If we can understand that the root cause of some of our issues come directly from this, do we then start to pay more attention to it? We like to say when it comes to children being bad behaved in school that it starts in the home. If we believe that, we understand that it starts from birth. I'm a firm believer. My business partner had a baby in January, my sister in March. It's December now. I don't believe any of them should have returned to work probably until September, November. They need time to bond. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate. Small businesses, can they afford to do this? What happens in those cases? It needs to be discussed. I don't have the answers. It's a lot. But it's stuff that we need to discuss. Suzanne Ingham says it may not need help. It's not may need help, sorry. Mummies desperately need help. It's a very big change, especially when they are, is that colic or colic babies? Help me understand what that means. I'm not the most intelligent, Suzanne Ingham. Misha Fabler says Canada does 18-month parental leave that I think the parents can split. It ensures the majority of salary during that time too, around about 75 to 80%, I think. Yeah, some countries do 90%, 70%, 60%. Yeah, it's not hard to consider, right? And I think, Misha, is something that we need to take a hard look at as a community. Audience, we're going to take a final break. We're going to come back after this. Somebody is going to win a prize. Someone's going to win a prize. While we take this break, if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you're sharing the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and it may be your chance to win today. So stick with us. We'll be right back after this break, if we can find it.
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
Alrighty, welcome back, and thanks to the BAC group of companies, Medical House and Lindo's, as well as People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. Honestly, I really do hope that these conversations are helpful for all of us. I hope that we can use the information to bring a better Bermuda for every last resident of the island. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. 5 different volumes are available in stores right now. You've got volume 1, volume 2, the holiday edition, the visitor edition, and cup match edition. So follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Audience, here is your question of the morning. The first person to answer correctly that shows up on my side of the screen will get today's $25 gift voucher to a sponsor of your choice. Here we go. Very easy question. What do elves wear on their toes? Suzanne Ingham wins again. Please do send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com to collect your prize. She said bells. It showed up first. So congratulations. Bells is the answer. They wear bells. Traveling Trotty says nothing. Manuela John also said bells. Traveling Trotty said slippers after. And NTS said socks, but it is bells. Bells is the answer. So again, send us an email, engage@thedailyhour.com. Someone will be in touch with you right away. Your prize from KBB from last week is on the way as well, as I was told yesterday. Just want to wrap it up and say this, right? I said it earlier that Bermuda was the it girl. It was number one, top of mind as a tourism destination in its heyday. Other destinations saw what Bermuda did and wanted to learn and figure out how Bermuda did it. We're now in a position where others are doing things. They're more innovative. They've moved ahead in many spaces. And we, as a jurisdiction, need to learn from them. Whether it's waste management, transportation, or laws like maternity and paternity leave. We must not be so arrogant where we think that we can't learn from others. It's time for your daily inspiration, brought to you by EL Fisheries. Folks, it's going to be another Dr. King. I want to tell you that a man who won't die for something is not fit to live. That's what Dr. King said. Whatever it is that concerns you most, Find a way to fight for it. Find a way to make it happen, to bring about the changes that you believe are necessary to create a better life for you, your family, and community. Remember, please subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this live next Monday. Stay tuned tomorrow, same time, you'll see Maya Palacio with a conversation with the COP28 youngsters, the young people who went to COP28. You don't want to miss that conversation tomorrow morning with Maya Palacio and the 6 young people who went to COP28. Folks, as always, appreciate you, love you, and thank you for making us part of your daily routine. Be back to do this again with you on Monday. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great weekend. I am is out. Peace.